Hello, Brick Sculptors, and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and we have an exciting new video for you today. We're going to do a library tips, tricks, and techniques, but it's also going to be a library update and a little bit of help me brick sculpt. Let me explain. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know that this is my new Lego library, and I'm quite proud of how it came out. I'm still working on the top a little bit. I got to finish off these here and build a roof. But I'm not here to talk about the exterior today. I'm here to talk about the interior. That's right. We have 3 floors that are pretty much completed. And I've already, as you can tell, laid some flooring in here. And it's time to do some interior building. Now, I had asked in a previous video what I should do in the basement. And as always, you guys delivered. I got some amazing recommendations, a lot of funny ones, a lot of realistic ones. And one particular comment really summed it up, and that was from Philip Whitford. And Philip Whitford said, as a librarian, I'll allow a pass in the giant windows, allowing too much sunlight to come in, causing damage and fading to the books. But you would need to add a desk for a librarian on the first floor, and a kid crawling around on a rug during story time on the second floor. Actually, just a spot for a librarian and a children's librarian will be fine. As for the basement, that's what we're doing today. The city archives with old newspapers and blueprints, shelves lined with archival books, a large work table, a copy machine, and an archivist and historian working with materials while wearing white gloves, book processing, sealed cardboard boxes full of books, stacks of books on a large desk, someone getting a book ready to put out into the library, an old Dell computer, someone stacking books on shelves in call number order, a teenager loading books onto a book cart to put in the library. You should add an exterior book drop that allows books to slide down into a rolling book return bin. Well, I love all of that. So I'm going to do exactly what Philip recommended. Now today we're just going to do the basement, but I'm going to try to include as much of this as I possibly can. Although keep in mind, this is not the biggest space. So trying to get all that in there is going to be tricky, but I did a pretty good job. I did have to leave a few minifigs out because I think this called for about 4 minifigs. That's a lot of minifigs for a small space. So I'm going to put 2 in there, but let's go ahead and break this down and let's go ahead and see what we can get in this basement. First of all, let's take a look at the basement. So I've already laid out the floor for all the wonderful things we're going to put in there, but this is our basement. This is on a 16 by 32 base plate, so we don't have a ton of space to work with, but I think we can get a lot of detail in there. In fact, I know we can because I already did it, but I'm going to do it again for you guys now on camera. Let's go ahead and take a look. Starting with Phil's comment, city archives with old newspapers and blueprints. Well, I made some of these bookshelves, and I decided to keep the books rather bland, so they looked like old newspapers, city documents, blueprints, all the kind of boring stuff. So I've got 3 of those here that are going to go in our basement. This is kind of a tricky build. It is kind of one-sided. The back side are usually just white, but you're not going to see that, and if you do, I guess it's a bunch of newspapers. The hard thing is getting this shelf in here. It looks like it's floating, and it kind of is. It's attached by a few things. It's attached to the bricks on the back with a snot piece here, and the sides are just these thin tiles, and they kind of float in there. This is a really unique way to build this. This side has jumpers on there that hold in there, but a lot of it is held together just with limited motion, and a lot of it is held together with limited studs. But I have 3 of these bookshelves ready to put in there with our archives, our newspapers, blueprints, and also shelves lined with archival books. We're going to lump that right in with these as well. Next thing, a large work table. So I set up a little scene here where we're doing some work, and I got a whole bunch of paper items, books, newspapers, envelopes laid out here so that we are working on a little project, maybe a little history project. It's almost like a mystery, crime scene solving thing, but it's not. We're just going to call it a history project here. A copy machine. This was fun to build. I used a cell phone there as the keypad, and we've got our copier there. An archivist and a historian working with materials, wearing white gloves. Well, here's our historian. She's got the magnifying glass. She's going to be looking over this table like that. And here's our archivist. He's not going to be working with the items right now, so he's not wearing the white gloves. Book processing. Sealed cardboard boxes full of books and stacks of books on a large desk. Well, how's that? That's a very large desk with a lot of stacked books on it. And it's going to make more sense once I put it in there too. I also have some individual stacked boxes that are going to go around the floor. Someone getting a book ready to put out in the library. An old Dell computer. Old Dell computer. I decided to use these old Lego computers, and I wanted to leave the studs to kind of make it look like it's old. Just because that's kind of a fun little Easter egg with Lego, I guess. Because I don't leave studs on many things anymore. I did 2 of them, too. This one I put an old typewriter next to it because I have a typewriter, and I thought it'd fit in cool. Don't know what they'd use it for, but hey, it's a cool use of a typewriter. Someone's stacking books on shelves in call number order. I'm going to have to leave that person out. A teenager loading books onto a book cart. Teenager's going to have to pass, but I do have a book cart. And I have another one that Rick has over there. That'll go on one of the other floors. These are pretty cool. I just used these bar, plate modifieds like this. Stuck some wheels on the end. And then just a snot piece here to stick the books on. And the books are all jumper plates. Jumper plates work the best because you get these nice little, the thumbnail track gives some little differentiation between the books. Makes it look a little more realistic. And an exterior book drop that allows books to slide down into a rolling bin. Well, we're going to add that at the end, so I'll show you that later. I decided to also add some office chairs for our old Dell computers. And one thing that they left out, which I thought was kind of interesting, was a card catalog. A lot of people mentioned that in the comments, so here's my card catalog. This is just a bunch of jumper plates on some snot bricks. And I wanted to add some file cabinets as well. So I took a couple of these drawers, double stacked them, put a tile on top. Another cool thing you can do with these is you can add locks on them. So that's going to be where the sensitive documents are in that file cabinet. All right, let's go ahead and start putting this all into our basement and show you how it came out. We'll start with the bigger items and work our way to the smaller details. First things, let's add our archival bookshelves. These are just going to go on the left side here. And I'm just going to make a line of them. They are a little bit fragile the way they're built. There we go. There's all our records. And then let's get this giant sorting table in there. And that's going to go right here. You'll notice there's a crate in the middle. That's going to hook up to our book drop at the end. All right. Lots of messy books on that table. Looking nice. Next thing, let's add our file cabinets in. Those are going to go along this wall here. There we go. Card catalog will go right next to that. Cool. Our old Dell computers. You'll notice I left the feet in here. There's a reason for that. I'll show you at the end. One Dell computer there with the typewriter. And then this one's going to face this way here. Coming along nicely. All right, what else do we have? Our copier. Copier is just going to fit right between the computers so that both computers can use it. It's a little tight in there, but I think it looks all right. Computer chairs. We're going to put one of those at each computer. All right. And we have some stacked boxes. That's just going to go right here in front of the card catalog. And then this open one with some materials sticking out of it. Just a little added detail. And then our large table here is going to go right in the middle. And we'll have our historian. I'll be honest, I couldn't tell you the difference between the historian and the archivist in a library. I'm sure they both have very distinct and important roles, but to me, we're just going to call them employees. Here's the the archivist, let's say. I might have that totally backwards, but that's okay. He's going to work at the computer here with all the books coming in. And she's going to be working on these items here. And then we can take our book cart and place that anywhere in here, maybe over here with the books that he's sorting. And there is our scene. Now, a couple more things we need to talk about. I'm going to zoom in a little tighter here. Now, we mentioned the book drop. So right here, I'm going to remove these bricks, and I'm going to put in a book drop. Now, my book drop looks like this. I have this bottom section, which is a slope with some plates, snot pieces, and tiles on the outside. That's going to plug into this gap right here. And then on the top, I have some of these anti-slopes and a double cheese slope, and that's going to go on the top side, and we're just going to plug that over the top. And then from the outside, we have a book drop. Here, let's put the top back on so you can see it in full effect here. Look at that. And again, the sidewalk is going to be right here. The light gray is all underground. So that'll go right to the sidewalk there for our book drop. And you can come up, take a book, stick it in there, and it will go down to the basement and should drop neatly into our book return bin, where he's going to sort them out, cart them, and they'll be taken back upstairs. Now, one last little secret in here. I got this idea. I had this dead space under the stairs, and I've got this historian, archivist, whatever you want to call her, working on this little puzzle here. And maybe it's a history thing about the city, something that happened in the past. Maybe it's unsolved. Maybe it's just a cool story. But I kind of get this idea that maybe she's working on this project, and there's a little bit of mystery to it. And it just so happens that the answer to it might just be hiding right next to her while she works on the project. So if we take this office chair out, we can grab the old Dell computer, slide it forward, and the wall is going to come with it. And what do you know, right back there, we have a little bit of a foul scene there, hiding right underneath the stairs. So had to add a little bit of fantasy in there. It's not as crazy as a giant bookworm, but thought that could be fun. So maybe I'll add to that story throughout the city, a little bit of mystery going on, where we've got some foul play there and some treasure underneath the library stairs. Well, I hope you guys liked this video. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them. I'm going to be finishing the upstairs of this, and I'll have that video out this weekend, so stay tuned. I've got the full interior pretty much ready to go, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'll do more just like this in the future. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them. That's all I have for this time, and we will see you next time.